Hello everyone and welcome. Professor Winter here. Today I'm going to show you how to format an essay in MLA documentation style, and I'm using Microsoft Word on a Windows computer. Now keep in mind, as you were listening to this tutorial in future classes, if you ever have an instructor ask you to format something in MLA documentation style, it's important to ask them what their specific preferences are, because each faculty member may have different variations based on what makes it easier for them to read and what makes it easiest for them to grade. All right, so this does overview MLA documentation style with formatting, but it also does talk a little bit about my own expectations for things that help keep me organized, and I'm going to explain to you why that is the case. So if you are getting ready to write a paper and you want to format it in Microsoft Word, in MLA documentation style, the first thing that you're going to want to do is observe what the settings are first. All right. So right now, if we look at the very top of Microsoft Word, you'll see that everything is in default settings. So the font's in a default setting. The formatting here is in a default setting. This all involves largely line spacing. So what you're going to want to do first and foremost is click on no spacing right here. When you do that, you are removing an extra 0.15 of a space between the lines, because in its default setting, Microsoft Word set on normal adds in that. Since you're going to be double spacing your paper, you're going to want to make sure this isn't clicked, because it's going to add in an extra 0.15 of a space. And some faculty might find that frustrating because it'll be a bigger gap between your lines than normal. So your first step is clicking on no spacing. The next step is going over here and adjusting it to Times New Roman 12-point font, because that is one of the MLA documentation standard font styles. Then you're going to double space your essay. So to double space, you would click on this little icon right here that has the up and down pointing arrows, and you're going to click on 2.0. Now that you have that done, you're ready to start typing your essay. At the beginning of your paper, it's important that you make sure that you have your name, class, and other information listed. So I typically will have my students place in their name, what class it is, including the section number. And this is especially important because if you have instructors that teach multiple sections of the same class, this helps keep them situated and organized. So it's all to help them a little bit. Underneath that, I typically will have students put in what assignment it is. So let's pretend it's the autobiographical narrative. And then I will have students put in the due date, all right? The due date is important here because whenever you open up your document, you're being continuously reminded of when this paper is due. So let's pretend that this is due on Friday, January 29th. All right, now that you have that done, you can click enter once. You're going to click the center button, and then you're going to put in your essay's title. Then you're going to click enter one more time, and then you're going to switch it back to left alignment. You're going to click the tab key for an indent, and then this is where you actually begin the introduction of the paper. All right, of your paper. So that's how you set up the structure. All right. Now the big difficulty is page numbers. I know this often frustrates a lot of people. So when you're going to do page numbers for your essay, you're going to go up here to insert. You're going to go all the way over to the icon that says page number. You're going to hover over top of page and click the third one, the third option that situates page number on the complete right-hand side. Once you do that, it'll pop up here in your header. Then you're going to type in your name next to it, followed by one space. Then you're going to want to highlight the whole thing, and then make sure that this is also in Times New Roman, because when you do a header, it reverts back to the default setting. Then you click on 12-point font, and then you have your page number. Now, if for some reason you have an instructor who asks you to not have the last name and page number listed on the first page, you would just click on different first page right here, and that would make it disappear from your first page. This is very helpful, especially if you are writing an essay that has title pages. My classes typically don't do title pages until the final portfolio assignment at the end of the semester. So double click off your header. One thing I like to do while I'm like, if I'm ever doing any writing that involves page numbers, I like to click enter all the way down just to make sure that all the page numbers are working. And it looks like they are. So perfect. This is how you format an essay in MLA documentation style. Thank you for listening.